Salam Julai. Today, we're going to take a journey back in time, deep into the heart of Ladakh's role on the legendary Silk Route. And trust me, this was way more than just a trade route. It was a network that literally shaped the world as we know it.
You know, when you hear Silk Route, what do you picture? Probably a single, long, dusty road, right? Well, the reality was so much bigger. Imagine a massive, sprawling web of pathways, arteries of trade connecting huge empires from east to west. And right in the middle of it all, tucked away in the high Himalayas, was Ladakh.
All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to dive into these ancient arteries of exchange. Because really, if you want to understand Ladakh today, you've got to go back and see how it became the beating heart of this whole incredible system.
Okay, take a look at this. This timeline really puts things into perspective. We're not talking about something that happened for a few years or even a few decades. This was a whole era of connection that spans centuries. Think about that. For generation after generation, these caravans were the lifeblood, the pulse flowing through those high mountain passes.
So what was actually in these caravans? Well, basically, the most sought-after stuff in the ancient world. You had the shimmering silk from China, obviously, but also that incredibly soft pashmina from Ladakh itself, amazing spices from India, dried fruits, textiles, even simple but crucial, things like salt. This was the kind of stuff that made that ridiculously dangerous journey totally worth the risk.
But here's the thing that's really mind-blowing. The most valuable cargo? It wasn't the silk or the spices. It was ideas. Think about it. Buddhism itself traveled along these exact routes, finding a home in Ladakh. It completely shaped the culture, the art, the entire spirit of the place. And that's a legacy you can still see and feel everywhere there today. Okay, so this incredible exchange of goods and ideas, it all came at a steep price. The journey through the Himalayas? It was absolutely brutal. We're talking about a serious life-or-death test of human endurance against the raw, untamed power of nature.
And this number right here, 36, it just says it all, doesn't it? It shows the sheer grit and determination of these traders. Can you even imagine carving 36 sharp, winding turns straight into solid rock, all by hand, just to make a dangerous mountain pass a tiny bit more manageable for the caravans? It's an absolutely mind-boggling feat of engineering and pure human will. And then you have names like this, the Skeleton Trail. I mean, wow. It's so chilling because it's so literal. It was named for the bones of people and animals that literally lined the path, caught by the brutal winter snows. It's a really humbling reminder of the human cost of keeping these ancient connections alive.
But it wasn't all just danger and hardship. Let's move away from the perilous trails for a moment and into the warmth. Because after surviving those mountain passes, travelers found refuge and community in these amazing hubs of humanity called caravanserai. So what exactly is a caravanserai? Think of it like an ancient roadside inn, but so much more. They were basically the social media hubs of their time. These weren't just places to rest your animals. They were buzzing centers where a trader from one empire could share stories and news with a traveler from another. This is where the world really came together.
And what's so cool is that this tradition of hospitality, it never really went away. That same spirit of welcoming a weary traveler is alive and well today in Ladakh's homestays. It's a living piece of that history.
Okay, so the caravans themselves are long gone, but they left echoes behind, you know? Their stories are literally carved into the rocks and ruins of the landscape. They're silent testimonies just waiting for someone to come along and read them.
And if you know where to look, you can find them. You've got these prehistoric rock carvings, petroglyphs, Emergy Village, showing ancient hunters and animals. Then there's the HR Cemetery, these simple graves that tell a story of Yarkandi traders who didn't make it. And of course, the Diskit Monastery, which was this crucial spiritual pit stop for travelers, with that massive Buddha statue watching over them. Each place tells a different piece of the story, of life, of sacrifice, and of faith.
So why does any of this matter now? That's the big question, right? Well, because the Silk Route isn't just some dusty old history lesson in Ladakh, its imprint is everywhere. It's a living, breathing legacy.
Just look at the Bactrian camel, you know, the one with the two humps. It's the perfect symbol of this whole story. Back then, it was the absolute workhorse of the Silk Route, carrying all those heavy goods. Now, it's a piece of living heritage, a cherished connection to the past that gives modern travelers a little taste of what that caravan life was like.
And seriously, you can taste this legacy. You can see it, you can hear it. It's in the food, like Tibetan momos and those incredible Kashmiri spices. It's in the crafts, from those famous pashmina shawls to the intricate thangka art. It's even in the music and architecture,
the influence of all that cultural mixing is just all around you. And people are still testing their endurance on these very same ancient paths. But today, it's a completely different game. It's not about trade anymore. It's about the ultimate modern test, the sheer challenge of it.
And just get a load of these numbers. We're talking about the Silk Route Ultra Marathon. It's 122 kilometers long. It climbs up to Kardungla Pass, which is over 5,300 meters high, and you have to finish it in 22 hours. I mean, that's just insane. It's a whole new kind of journey, a modern feat of endurance that follows the ghosts of those ancient caravans.
So, when you put it all together, the history, the danger, the culture, the connection, it really makes you wonder, what stories are still out there waiting to be heard in these mountains?
Because in the end, the Silk Route never really disappeared. It just transformed. It lives on in the people, in the culture, and in the trails themselves. It's still there, just waiting for us to listen.